Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for another video. What we're going to be doing today is we will be reacting and breaking down the new MLB predicted batting order and starting rotation order that just came out for the 2025 New York Yankees. There was a lot of changes for the Yankees in the offseason. They had a lot of guys that had been there for a while. They're no longer going to be on the Yankees. They're bringing in a lot of new starters. This is a team that came in as runner-ups to the Dodgers in the World Series, basically finished the season as the number 2 team in MLB. Did they improve off of where they left over last season? We're going to break that down, but first things first, make sure to hit that like button. Make sure to subscribe. If you have any comments, whether you agree, disagree, or just what your thoughts are on this order, make sure to drop them below. I will respond to every single comment. So what we're looking at here is the MLB from MLB.com. This actually just came out today. This is the predicted batting order for the 2025 New York Yankees and also their predicted starting rotation. They actually have them going with 6 starting pitchers, but they're basically saying that it is potentially possible that they might be getting rid of Marcus Stroman either before the season starts or at some point during the regular season, because they're probably not going to go with a 6-man rotation. But let's already get it jump off. Let's look at the top 9, their starting lineup, the batting order. They have Jason Dominguez kicking things off in left field. We know that he was the highly sought-after guy coming out of AAA, had a lot of praise, a multiple player, someone who could play the outfield every single day consistently, someone that could hit, but also someone who they could have be aggressive on the base pass. That's why they have them leading things off. To be a leadoff hitter, you got to draw pitches, you have to get walks, you have to give the guys further down in the lineup some looks at how the pitcher is doing. This is a guy who could potentially get on base a lot, walk, get base hits, potentially bring in some power, but someone who can hit for average, someone who's going to be on base so that there's someone on base for Aaron Judge to drive in. I have a lot of concerns about Aaron Boone. That's a whole nother story for a whole nother time. Looking at this order, Dominguez has been battling injuries since he's been brought up from the minors. If he can play a whole season, if he can kick things off in spring training, get hot, this is someone to keep your eye on, someone who's been praised a lot coming out of the farm system. Then, of course, you have Aaron Judge. We all know who Aaron Judge is. He had 58 home runs this past season. As of right now, FanDuel, they are predicting him to hit 48 home runs. He's a consistent guy. He just has to make sure to stay healthy the entire season. No matter what worst case scenario, he's still going to give you over 35 home runs. That's basically the floor for him. But you're probably looking at that 40 to potentially 55 era. That's about somewhere where Aaron Judge will be falling in. Perfect. I don't necessarily like him batting 2. I'd rather him be number 3. This is someone who hit 322 last season, 58 home runs. I want him batting 3rd in my order, but they just don't have a lot of guys who can hit for average, who can consistently get on base, so he moves up to 2. Coming in at 3, you have Cody Bellinger. The Yankees are bringing him over. This is someone, so we know they lost Torres. We know they lost Juan Soto. I have a lot of issues about this Yankees lineup. They came in second to the Dodgers last season. I don't think their lineup got any better. I think this batting order is worse than the 2024 Yankees. They did not replace Soto. They did not replace Torres. We'll see what Cody Bellinger does. He's one of the new faces to the Yankees. We know what his ceiling is. We know what his floor is. He's probably going to fall somewhere in there. If he gets back to 2023 Cody Bellinger, great. This is a guy who has power. He can hit for average. He can draw walks. If we get 2024 Cody Bellinger, 2022 Cody Bellinger, then there's going to leave a lot of questions there. He's not the type of guy you want batting 3rd, but he has that high ceiling. He has that low floor. You just never know what you're going to get. Hopefully, he's able to find that resurgence with the Yankees. Coming in at 4, you have Giancarlo Stanton. Stanton is what he is. He's going to miss 1 to 2 months of the entire season. He's probably only going to give you 400 to 450 at-bats at most, probably 30 to 35 home runs. He is what he is. He's going to, after, I'd say, midpoint of April, he's going to go down for 2 to 3 weeks. It happens every single season, every year, same thing over and over again. He's not going to hit for average. He's going to strike out a lot. He's not going to get on base. He's a guy that really hasn't panned out, wasn't the player he was with the Marlins. If he's 4, great. I don't like him at 4 because he's just not a good all-around hitter, and he's way too inconsistent. When he's on, he's on. When he's off, which is 90% of the time, he is off. He chases everything out of the zone. Coming in at 5, Chaz Chisholm Jr. He's someone that I would personally rather have a little higher up in the order. I'd probably put him at 2 and Judge at 3. This is someone the Yankees are going to get a full season out of him. He can give you, 25 home runs, 25 to 30 steals. He's aggressive. He gets on base. good fielder. He has power. He has speed. I want him further up in the lineup. Take advantage of his aggressiveness. Get him on base so that there's guys on base for Judge to drive in. Coming in at 6, you have Paul Goldschmidt. Decorated player. He was the MVP, 1 or 2 seasons ago. If he can get back to form, but he's 37 years old, what does he have left in him? As long as you don't ask too much from him, you're going to get an experienced veteran hitter, someone that you probably want for the playoffs. He's been to the World Series before. He's been on the big stage. He's finally with the Yankees. I think he's going to have a solid season, but he's not going to be the Goldschmidt of the last 15 years. Hopefully, though, he can just hit 260 to 270. That would be great production. He still has the power, probably going to get you about 20 to 25 home runs. Coming in at 7, you have Austin Wells. He's been the staple there at catcher. He is what he is. He's productive at times, not productive at times, but don't expect too much from him. He gives you consistent production out of that catcher position. Number 8, Anthony Volpe at shortstop. Volpe, he's not a guy who would be historically on the Yankees, but a guy, he comes in, he plays, he has speed, he's going to be aggressive on the base pass. 9, DJ LeMahieu. What was that season, 2020 or 2019, when he had a great first year with the Yankees, lit the world up, got the big contract, has not panned out since then. He's taken a massive step down. He's chasing things out of the zone. He used to be a guy who could hit for power. He could hit for average. He was just a good all-around hitter getting on the bases. That's not him anymore. Hopefully he can just get back to a little bit of what he was. He doesn't need to be hitting for 310, 320. That would be great. But he's just not that guy. Hopefully he just hits 270, 275. That would be the perfect guy, experienced veteran at the bottom of the order, someone who could still get on base for when the order starts back up at number 1. I have no issues with the way MLB lined up this predicted starting 9, but I would move Stanton out of 4. I would move Chisholm up to 2, Dominguez, Chisholm, Judge, Bellinger at 4, and then Paul Goldschmidt at 5, Stanton probably at 6. Those are your best hitters in order of who's going to get on base, who has power and average. Keep Stanton at a 4. He's not a good hitter. He's not going to give protection to Bellinger. Now, so that's our batting lineup. Let me know what you think about that. If you agree with the way that MLB.com set them up, or if you are more on my side. I don't trust Aaron Judge to ever set up a good lineup. I don't know who taught him how to set up a 1 through 9, but he's usually always wrong. It is what it is. We like to call it out. The Yankees don't have a good batting order. They have a lot of holes. They have a lot of issues outside of Judge, outside of Chisholm, outside of Bellinger and Goldschmidt, but they do have a really good starting rotation. That's one thing that they're going to have no issues with. They have a deep starting rotation. You have Gerritt Cole. This is a Cy Young caliber guy. He was banged up last season, but he's going to give you production. He's your go-to ace when you need 1 or 2 starts in the playoffs in one series. He's the guy that's going to give it to you. You're going to get consistent production out of him. He's not afraid of tough hitters. He's going to go after you. He's your number 1. Max Fried, perfect number 2, really good rotation. Fried as your number 2 guy, beautiful. Then you have Carlos Rodon, had a great season this past year, had the most wins in his career, 16 wins. This is a really good 1 through 3 starting rotation. The starting pitching somewhat makes up for the hitters, but the Yankees are going to be buyers at the midway point of the season before the trade deadline. They're going to be looking for a bat. You have Lewis Gill at 4. You have Clark Schmidt at 5. You have Marcus Stroman at 6. MLB.com does tell us they're probably not keeping Stroman. Stroman's kind of been a problem child his whole career. Great pitcher when he's on. He's a bit of a problem child, though, when he's not. He causes some issues. He caused some issues last season. They didn't even have him starting in the playoffs, but still, he's a good guy to have coming out of your bullpen. He's a guy who can eat innings. But he's not a bullpen guy. He's been a starting pitcher his entire career. But if you can use him as that 6th arm, someone when you need a day off, or if you want to stretch the rotation out, give Gerritt Cole some more stops along the way, then you go to a 6-man rotation. You just don't keep it permanent. Guys, that's just a quick breakdown of our Yankees MLB lineup. Spring training's kicking off. We have catchers reporting, pitchers reporting, batters are going to be there soon. The Yankees finished number 2 last season, finally got to the World Series, lost the World Series to the Dodgers. The hallmark right now is the Dodgers. You have to be better than you were last season. You could potentially be facing the Dodgers again in the World Series. You can't bring out the same product. Dodgers got better. The Yankees have to also get better. That's why I said they're probably going to be buyers in the offseason. But let me know what you think. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. If you have any comments, please drop them below, and I will respond. Thank you.